Well, maybe Command's got a plan.
Incoming! Take cover! Defensive positions for
Look, the Battlefield 6 campaign, it's going to be a mixed bag for a lot of people. I think some players are going to appreciate the spectacle that it offers. There are some very pretty moments, like when you jump out of a plane and parachute into a level. There are missions with vast open maps where you have to take out AA guns scattered across the area, and you can approach them however you choose. Some stages play creatively with lighting, like the night vision mission. The night vision mission, for the record, goes on a little bit too long. I'll mention that at the end. Anyway, it turns into a fiery inferno about halfway through the mission, and it forces you to take off your night vision goggles and stare at the chaos. The campaign is mostly about style. There are a lot of beautiful moments, even if there are a few rough edges here and there. However, I really appreciated that this campaign was a little bit shorter. I don't mind a 5 to 8 hour campaign whatsoever. The Battlefield team did add some replayability, like these dog tags that you can collect. There's difficulty settings that encourage you to play again to unlock cool skins. I really appreciate content like that. I like having a reason to go back and replay a campaign, even if it's just to grab an achievement, a dog tag I missed, or something I can unlock and use in multiplayer. This used to be how games were made. You get a solid campaign with reasons to replay it. I did this with Gears of War. I could play through with friends and experience the story again with a new layer of fun added. I think that's what Battlefield 6 is going for here, and I appreciate that it's a bite-sized popcorn flick, short, mostly satisfying with a few replay incentives sprinkled in. Speaking of sprinkling things in, I'm going to sprinkle in a quick recommendation to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell if you like my content. Also consider supporting me at patreon.com/SafeStatePlus or right here on YouTube by becoming a member. Look, I think the big selling point of the campaign is that graphically it's stunning about 90% of the time. While I did encounter some technical bugs here and there, a quick restart or reload of the level usually fixed them. I'm playing on a pre-release build without the day one patch, so hopefully those little issues get addressed. And I didn't run into any major game-breaking problems or anything like that. In fact, it was quite the opposite. The campaign has several moments that really stand out, the scenes that make you stop in your tracks and say, wow, this is really pretty, or that looks incredible. I miss when campaigns made you feel that way, where you could pause for a moment and just admire the art direction. Battlefield 6 gives you plenty of those opportunities throughout in its short but enjoyable run. From a storytelling perspective, though, this plot is a bit predictable. You're chasing a bad guy. The bad guy does bad things. You need to stop the bad guy and undo the bad things he set in motion. Yeah, it's pretty standard stuff. There are a few twists and turns, but Battlefield 6's story didn't grab me in the way I hoped it would. Honestly, I was having too much fun with the gameplay to care much about whether my NPC companion was dismantling a bomb or hacking a terminal. Whatever exposition was going on, it was pretty light and not super engaging. So in that aspect, I think it's not great. That's partially because a lot of the shorter campaigns sound and feel the same also. After a while, you've played enough of these shooter campaigns that just aren't stellar, and you're just kind of like, yeah, whatever about the story. I just kind of want to play through this and enjoy the gameplay aspect of it. And while Battlefield has an okay story at best, it's not one that's going to leave you floored by any revelations or anything. In terms of gameplay, though, it does a great job of getting you acclimated to each class. There's a mission where you repair a tank, teaching you the basics of engineer. Another has you controlling a drone and dropping bombs on unsuspecting enemies, teaching you basic drone controls. And there's one focused on sniping. Look, all in all, for me, it was still fun to play through and worth experiencing at least once, even if it's just to collect all the dog tags. By the way, I made a video for that. If you get stuck finding one, you can check it out. Some of them are a little tricky. Anyway, when it comes to sound design, Battlefield 6 once again nails it. The roar of jets streaking across the sky, the thunder of explosions. It all makes you want to duck and take cover. There are also moments where the musical score kicks in and adds another layer to the action.
Just made it out.
Roger.
I I'd say the gameplay audio is superb. While there wasn't a specific track I'd want to download and listen to later, it does its job and does it well enough. Now, since I can talk about the full game after embargo, I can finally say this. I think, all in all, Battlefield 6 is a fantastic package. Maybe the campaign didn't resonate with everybody, but I had a great time playing through it. I actually appreciate that it's a little shorter, with replay options that give campaign fans a reason to go back, whether that's playing on a higher difficulty, completing challenges for multiplayer rewards, or collecting everything just for fun. Could the campaign have been longer? Sure. Should they add a skip button so you don't have to watch the cutscenes every time? Sure. I clocked in around 5 or 6 hours on my first playthrough on normal, but with replayability, I probably spent, 8 to 10 hours messing around looking for collectibles, and I still haven't done a run on the hardest difficulty. Overall, I think the campaign is, like a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I know it's cliche, but it's just like, it's like an okay or good campaign. It's just not great. Multiplayer, however, is superb. Every match I played left me wanting to jump straight into the next one. I do hope they add a few more features down the road, like a proper server browser or a find game menu, something fans have been asking for. But in terms of variety and fun, there's plenty to do, and I'd honestly give multiplayer a 9 out of 10. It's excellent. I think as a whole package, Battlefield 6 is probably a 9 out of 10. Even if the campaign isn't that great for a lot of people, you still get a campaign that you can play through. I do wish that the story could have been better, but it's not like the campaign is a boring slog. It's fun enough to play through for the first time, especially from a gameplay standpoint. The story just could have been stronger. The only mission that I really didn't like was this long night vision stealth section. It drags on a bit too long. And by too long, I mean like 10 minutes because it's like a 5-hour long campaign. But it was noticeable, and I just kind of like, all right, like let's get back to the action. They didn't do anything particularly compelling with the night vision segment, and they just kind of lock you out of action for a bit, so that was kind of a downer. All told, Battlefield 6 delivers a phenomenal multiplayer and a fairly solid campaign. You can play solo or with friends. I can't wait to see what people create in Portal. That's the one piece we didn't get to access yet, but hopefully it's the cherry on top of an already fantastic experience. For me, Battlefield 6 is an excellent game that deserves a 9 out of 10. The only mode I didn't get to experience was Portal, which should be added soon, and I'm hoping it's the cherry on top of an already delicious cake. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell. You know the drill. Let me know what you think of the Battlefield 6 campaign once you finish it in the comments below. A huge thank you to EA for sending me the review code, and to the members and patrons who support my work. You can support at patreon.com/SafeStatePlus or by becoming a member right here on YouTube. Huge thank you to Chris Freddy, Philaroni, and Aries. Thank you so much. I'm going to get out of here, but if you're playing through the campaign, I did find all those dog tags. I got you covered right here. Bye for now, everybody.